By mid-term, the hostel was restless. Girls were losing sleep. Some swore they woke up at night to find their reflections moving even when they were still. Others said they heard humming when they washed their faces, like someone standing right behind them. And every few mornings another girl would wake up bald, her beautiful hair gone as if shaved clean. Ngozi knew it had to end. She gathered 4 girls she trusted: Chika, who first saw Ada in the mirror, Amaka the bold one, Funmi the class clown, and Bissy the quiet observer. They met in secret after prep, flashlights hidden under wrappers. "We're breaking it," Ngozi whispered. "You mean that mirror?" Amaka asked. "What if it's just some superstition? Then why are we all hearing the same thing? Why is Ada's humming everywhere? I saw that mirror glow last night." "Glow?" Funmi scoffed, but her voice trembled. "Yes. I think Ada's still here, and she's feeding on us." The others fell silent. Even the thought was enough to make their skins crawl. That night, after lights out, they waited until the hostel mistress began snoring. Then they slipped out, barefoot and nervous. The corridor felt too long, every creak of the wooden floorboards sounding like thunder. Chika led the way with a small hammer she'd stolen from the maintenance shed. The backyard was colder than usual. The gate's padlock hung heavy, but they knew the loose plank by the wall. One by one they squeezed through, their hearts pounding. The mirror was still there, cracked, leaning against the wall like it had been waiting. The moonlight made its jagged edges gleam. "It's just glass," Amaka whispered, but her voice was thin. Ngozi raised the torchlight and froze. Ada's face was there again, clearer this time, smiling faintly, her lips parting as though she were about to speak. "Do it now," Ngozi hissed. Chika stepped forward, sweat beading on her forehead. She lifted the hammer. Then the humming started low and soft, rising and falling like a lullaby. The mirror seemed to vibrate with it. A crack of cold air swept across the backyard, making the girls shiver. "Break it," Ngozi yelled. Chika swung. The hammer hit with a loud crack. The glass shattered, shards flying across the ground. The sound was like a scream, long, piercing, almost human. The girls stumbled back, covering their ears. But it didn't end. The shards didn't stay still. They twitched, some spinning on the ground, each fragment holding a piece of Ada's face. One shard showed her mouth open wide, another showed her blinking. The biggest shard reflected not the girls, but a headless body kneeling, combing hair. "What is that?" Funmi whispered. Then the humming stopped and was replaced by a whisper. "You shouldn't have done that." The voice came from everywhere, like the air itself was speaking. One shard rolled toward them. The moonlight caught it, and Ada's reflection in it smiled a wide, unnatural grin. The girls screamed and ran, leaving the hammer behind. By the next evening, Queen's College was boiling with rumours. Breaking the mirror hadn't stopped anything. If anything, it had made things worse. The entire hostel smelled faintly of hair cream, and loose strands seemed to appear in the strangest places: on beds, inside lockers, even in food. But the worst came that night. Around 2 a.m., Ifunia, a timid swan girl from the Blue Dorm, woke up thirsty. She slipped out quietly, carrying a torch, heading for the taps at the back of the hostel. The compound was silent except for the steady hum of the generator in the distance. As she rounded the corner by the laundry line, she froze. Something was kneeling on the cement floor near the water tank. At first, it looked like a person fixing something. But as her torchlight caught it, she realized what she was seeing. It was Ada's body, headless. Her uniform was gone. She wore only a plain white slip, now dirty and frayed. Her hands were busy, fingers weaving something invisible into the air, as if braiding strands no one else could see. The movements were fast, precise, like muscle memory. The worst part was the sound. A low humming, exactly like the one Ada used to sing at night, but muffled like it was coming from inside the ground. Euphonia's throat tightened, but she couldn't move. She watched in horror as Ada's body stopped, straightened, and slowly turned as if sensing her. There was no head, yet the body looked at her. In the empty space where the head should have been, the air seemed to ripple. The hands dropped whatever they were doing and pointed straight at her. Euphonia's torch slipped from her hand and hit the floor with a thud. The beam rolled across the cement, catching something else behind the water tank, a small, round object. It was Ada's head. The eyes were open, and they were looking at Euphonia. The mouth curved into a slow, too wide smile. That was all Euphonia needed. She ran. By morning she was incoherent, shaking and crying. When she finally calmed down enough to speak, she told everyone what she saw. Most girls laughed nervously. Some believed her instantly. Ngozi, though, went pale. "She's back," Ngozi said simply. "And now she's not hiding anymore." That week, the school tried to calm the students. They called priests to pray and sprinkle holy water, locked the hostel earlier, and even covered all the mirrors. But every night, girls swore they heard footsteps in the backyard, soft humming near the windows, and combs clicking on concrete. Some claimed to see hair strands moving on their own. And twice, 2 girls woke up with long, neat braids they swore they didn't have before sleeping. By the time Euphronia swore she saw Ada's headless body, Queen's College had fallen into chaos. Girls refused to sleep, mirrors were covered with bedsheets, and even the hostel mistresses were afraid to do night rounds. Rumours spread like wildfire. Ada's spirit was still there, angry because they had broken her mirror. The principal, Madame Ease, tried to handle it quietly at first, but when parents started calling and one girl fainted after claiming to see a braid moving across her desk, she knew it had gone too far. One Monday morning she stood before the assembly, her face grave. "Enough is enough," she said. "Whatever is troubling this school will end today. I have invited someone to cleanse this hostel." By evening, a pastor arrived, a tall, serious-looking man with a worn Bible and a small bottle of oil. He didn't waste time. The students gathered outside, huddled together, while the staff followed him to the backyard. As soon as he entered, the air turned cold. The broken mirror shards still lay scattered, but some seemed to shimmer faintly under the setting sun. The pastor stopped, knelt, and prayed in a strong, clear voice. Inside the hostel, the girls listened. At first it was quiet. Then, faintly, they heard it, the humming. Low, distant, almost sorrowful. The pastor's voice grew louder. He sprinkled oil around the walls, reading from his Bible. "Every power that hides in darkness, every spirit that brings fear, you have no place here." Then, something moved. Behind the water tank, the headless body appeared again, crouched and still. Some of the teachers gasped, but the pastor stepped forward boldly. "In the name of Jesus Christ, I command you to leave," he shouted. The humming turned sharp, rising like a wail. The broken mirror shards rattled against the ground. One piece even lifted an inch into the air before dropping. The pastor walked closer, pouring oil in a circle. "You cannot stay here. Go back to where you came from." Suddenly the body jerked and began to retreat, backing into silence. When they checked, nothing remained. The body was gone, and so was the humming. Only a single braid lay on the cement, neat and shiny, like it had just been done. The pastor gathered the shards of the mirror, wrapped them in a white cloth, and told the principal, "Destroy these. Burn them. And never keep any of her things here again." That night, for the first time in weeks, the hostel slept without fear. But even now, some girls say that if you pass by Queen's College backyard on a very quiet night, you can still hear it, a soft tune, like someone braiding hair and humming to herself, waiting